Now, how does he get that equipment then? How's the devil get all that equipment? We're at fault? I'm going to tell you something. I think we need a strong devil in our head. You know why we need a strong devil? That way we have somebody to blame. We need the enemy to be extremely powerful and almost undefeated and unbeatable. That way, if we're not winning, it's not because we haven't changed our mind. It's because the devil's so strong. He's so powerful. He's so big. What? And it's tough, man. It is tough the moment that you make him defeated and kicked out of heaven, and then you go, why am I losing? If he's kicked out of heaven and defeated, why am I losing all the time? Maybe I need to change my mind about who I am. And the minute you realize you need to change your mind, who was at fault? It's okay, you can say it. You were. This is why Paul said, renew your mind. Change the way you think. The problem that you have, this is why I've said to you before, your biggest enemy is not the devil, your biggest enemy is you. Because we don't change the way we think. We think this silliness about, listen, he who got kicked out of heaven has no credibility. If you go home today and you turn on the television, and on the television is the President of the United States, and it's breaking news, newsflash, live press conference, and it says, President says attack is imminent. It's big news, right? Attack is imminent. We are being attacked. And you buy it, right? You drive out of here, you get on Victor Street, and you're heading down here to Ditch Road, and there's a guy standing down there at the end of the road with a cardboard sign. Big old scraggly beard, dirty clothes, and on the sign it says, attack is imminent. And you fly right past him and don't think anything else other than, man, why would he waste his day standing down here with a cardboard sign? Now, why is it that you bought it when you saw it on the news, but you didn't buy it when you saw it on the street corner? I just want you to ask yourself that question. Of course it's rhetorical, and you know the answer. The answer is credibility. The guy at the end of the street doesn't have any. He's just a dude with a Sharpie and an extra refrigerator box. Too much time on his hands. President got on the air. You don't think you're going to get lied to about an attack is imminent. And you go, if he's on the air, there must be an attack coming. They wouldn't have got on there and did that to us. Why? Because that wouldn't be right. The credibility factor. Listen, the moment that you can realize that the enemy does not have an audience in heaven. Where's the enemy? On the earth. He doesn't have an audience in heaven. So let me ask you this simple question. Who's the devil accusing you to? Yourself. His accusation is about you to you. Can you believe it? And we have gave him so much authority as if what he says holds weight. It holds no weight. Now, I want you to realize that the enemy's kicked out of heaven. But I want to try to figure out where he gets his equipment. We're winding this down. But the next two passages of Scripture are going to be it. This is the moment where I think we take this home. Where does the enemy get his equipment? How does he accuse me? You go, well, we give it to him. But what is it we give him? John chapter 5, a bunch of men come to Jesus. And Jesus says this. This is amazing. Do not think, John 5:45, do not think that I will accuse you to the Father. There is one that accuses you. We think he should say the devil, but he doesn't. Who's the one that accuses you? Moses, in whom you trust. Wait a minute. Jesus says, don't think I'm going to accuse you. I am not in the business of accusing you to my dad. We're in the book. He calls him father, okay? I'm saying my dad. I'm not in the business of accusing you to my dad. I don't go to my dad and say, Dad, you see what Chad did today? Jesus said, I'm not going to do that. You already have somebody that does that. Now we're going, that's Satan, that's the devil. Jesus breaks that theory and says, it's not Satan, it's Moses. Now what in the world did he mean by Moses? To a Jew, you got it. Because to a Jew, what was Moses? The father of the law, the founder of the Sinaitic covenant. Everything in Moses is do's and don'ts. So what's Jesus say? Don't think I'm going to accuse you. You already got somebody accusing you. The do's and the don'ts guy. So if that's what accused them then, what's the enemy used to accuse you now? The law, which Jesus came to fulfill and live perfectly so that you wouldn't be underneath the weight of the law, which means the devil's using confiscated weapons. And we gave them to him. We reinforced it. We were the ones that decided that the just don't live by faith, the just live by how good they are. We walk and talk based upon our performance. I judge myself based on what I do, not who I am. And if we do that in the natural, we naturally roll it over. And why was Jesus so upset with the rich young ruler? Does Jesus not like people being rich? And the guy goes, I've done everything you said for me to do. And Jesus says, there's one thing you lack. Go sell everything you got and give it to the poor. Come follow me. And when we turn around and we preach, Jesus doesn't want anybody to be rich. That's not what Jesus said. This guy had a problem. The only thing he depended on was the thing keeping him away from God. And so Jesus said, look, under your system, there's always going to be something standing between me and you. In this case, it's your money. It's your dependence on that money. You created a system by which you identified who you are based on what you have, not on who you are. You're afraid, young man, to sell everything you got. Why? Because you're afraid you won't be known anymore. What's his description? Rich, young, ruler. If you're not rich, you're not a ruler. You ain't going to be young forever. So what happens now? Now what are you? Poor, old, non-ruler. And Jesus said, I'm not against riches, but I want you to start being identified as my follower, not as who you are. And that's the biggest issue. And so that's what happens in us. So the enemy comes along to accuse.